It's always hard to decide on the best James Bond movie. These films are so hard to compare with one another, especially because their production has spanned 6 decades and many technological innovations have arisen during that time. They swing from hardcore action to camp to downright parody. They play fast and loose with their source material, the novels and stories by Ian Fleming. It's not an easy job, ranking them, but we're going to do our level best today. Let's go and find out every James Bond films. 27. Moonraker in 1979. Oof, Moonraker. I'll say that if a James Bond film involves going to space, it automatically jumps the shark for me. I don't know why this particular detail is a deal breaker, but it is, and Moonraker, in which Roger Moore's James Bond goes to space to destroy Hugo Drax's moon base for the master race, doesn't have its feet on the ground enough for me, and that's before the zero-gravity sex. 26. Octopussy in 1983. Okay, I do think it's really awesome to feature a lady criminal mastermind, not just a sexy double-agent henchwoman to a male bad guy. Villainy, especially in the Bond franchise, is a real boys' club, and I appreciate evil genius Octopussy's breaking the glass ceiling for independent bad girls everywhere. That being said. 25. Casino Royale in 1967. I never know quite what to do with this spoofy, confusing standalone film, which is the favorite of Crime Read's editor Molly Odents, for some reason. David Niven plays James Bond, but so does everybody else. I mean this literally. 6 others as Peter Sellers as Evelyn Tremble, Ursula Andress as Vesper Lind, Barbara Bouchet's Miss Moneypenny, Joanna Petet's Martha Bond as his daughter with Mata Hari, evidently. And 2 others are also pretending to be James Bond. Orson Welles as Le Chiffre, Woody Allen as Bond's nephew Jimmy Bond, and it's also got Charles Boyer, Deborah Kerr, John Paul Belmondo, William Holden, George Raft, Jacqueline Bisset, and John Huston. What it is, really, is a large party rather than a movie. Try fashioning an ensemble spy story out of the last rager you went to, and you'll see why this movie isn't so hot. 24. Live and Let Die in 1973. Besides that one of its chase scenes will forever terrify you of riding in double-decker buses, let me remind you that Live and Let Die is actually a bit racist. Maybe you thought this would be one of the good Roger Moore Bond movies because it's got that killer theme song from Wings, but actually the movie is about a local Harlem drug lord who is also a corrupt Caribbean dictator who uses the islanders' fear of the occult to gain control of the island. He teams up with a voodoo priest to scare them while he harvests the local poppy fields, and the white, male, English intelligence operative is going to save the day in the colonial setting. Excuse me, I'll just be over here, banging my head against the wall. 23. Die Another Day in 2002. Why is Die Another Day, the final Pierce Brosnan Bond film, so low on this list? Well, let's ask the invisible car, why don't we? 22. Quantum of Solace in 2008. This second installment in the Daniel Craig era is generally uninspired, unimaginative, and derivative, weighed down by its boring, sniveling villain Dominic Green. Look, I think it's a great idea to have a folks environmentalist as the Bond villain, but he's way too understated. He's like your creepy accountant cousin, not a flamboyant maniac hellbent on revenge or world domination. 21. Diamonds Are Forever in 1971. In the post-Lazenby Connery reboot Diamonds Are Forever, our hero impersonates a diamond smuggler and winds up discovering a plot by his erstwhile nemesis Ernst Stavro Blofeld to build some sort of space laser. He's also creating a bunch of surgically modified Blofeld lookalikes, which makes it a bit difficult to properly capture him. It's one of the cheesier Connery Bonds for sure, and I feel bad saying this because I was really rooting for it. I wish that moon buggy chase scene through the desert looked even the tiniest bit cooler, or if the main Bond girl weren't named Tiffany Case. Diamonds might be forever, but my patience is not. 20. Never Say Never Again in 1983. Here's where things get confusing. Never Say Never Again is a non-canon James Bond film, produced outside the Eon company that officially made all the Bond films. It's based on Ian Fleming's novel Thunderball, the official adaptation of which Sean Connery already starred in, many years before. Released the same year as Octopussy, and fomenting a long copyright battle, it stars a 52-year-old Sean Connery as Bond and Max von Sydow as Blofeld, which is a waste of Max von Sydow. At the end, he and Kim Basinger run away together and he quits the spy life. I admire the bravado that caused this film to be made in the first place, but that's about it. 19. The Man with the Golden Gun in 1974. If you've never seen it, you might be surprised to learn that the eponymous Man with the Golden Gun is not 007, but his new nemesis Francisco Scaramanga, played by the great Christopher Lee. He is the only reason you should watch this movie, because everything Christopher Lee does is great, but also because his character models a successful freelancing career. As an assassin, he charges $1 million per hit. Now that's a word count rate I can get behind. 18. A View to a Kill in 1985. A View to a Kill is fun for a while, but it really runs out of steam halfway through, which is a shame because that's when the most interesting character decision gets made. There's a whole introductory plot about Christopher Walken's evil industry of injecting steroids into racehorses, and okay, animal cruelty is a good reason to take this guy down, plus Grace Jones is in it as his love interest, henchwoman, and so for a while it chugs along, even though Roger Moore looks way too old to play Bond anymore. But once Walken reveals his plot to destroy Silicon Valley or something, and the whole story moves to San Francisco, you'll feel foggier than Cupertino in the morning. 17. You Only Live Twice in 1967. Again with Blofeld's space plots, this rocket ship heavy narrative is counterbalanced somewhat by its compelling villain, Ernst Stavro Blofeld, but its generally poor handling of its Japanese setting really knocks it from contention. You might live twice, but that's double the amount of times you should ever watch it. 16. The World Is Not Enough in 1999. To be fair, it isn't. I know this well as a graduate student. Some days you just wake up and you're like, what in God's name could be worth all this hell? The world is not enough. I always feel bad for Pierce Brosnan when I watch his era of James Bond movies, because his vibe is so erudite and sensitive. He delivers a performance far deeper, far wearier, far gentler, even, than these movies deserve. 15. Spectre in 2015. As its name might suggest, Spectre loops back through Bond lore and presents Bond's nemesis Blofeld as Christoph Waltz to us only now, in installment 4 of Daniel Craig's series. The evil organization Spectre has had its tendrils in his previous adventures, starting with Casino Royale, but this movie is all about the puppet master behind all of Bond's sorrows. 14. Tomorrow Never Dies in 1997. I appreciate Tomorrow Never Dies' conniving media mogul villain who wants to start a global war so he can make billions broadcasting exclusive coverage. You kind of think that if Jonathan Pryce's Elliot Carver lived past this installment, he'd go on to produce Fox News. Anyway, watch this movie for Michelle Yeoh, a badass goddess among us. 13. No Time to Die in 2021. No Time to Die, the finale of Daniel Craig's run as James Bond, is sentimental and definitely too invested in the previous installment, Spectre, but it's really got style, particularly thanks to the fantastic skill of director Cary Joji Fukunaga, who keeps the film popping with funky visuals and meticulous action sequences. Without saying too much, I'll note that this is a film that also makes good use of its capable supporting cast. 12. For Your Eyes Only in 1981. I keep forgetting that this film exists, and that's probably because it's pretty basic, all things considered. It's definitely the least offensive of the Roger Moore movies. We've got a bad news Greek tycoon on our tail, and a missile command system to disable, folks. Tally-ho. The Broccolis are playing it safe after Moonraker, and that's fine with me. I love an underwater car. 11. License to Kill in 1989. License to Kill is really fun because it's about Bond going off the rails for revenge, after his buddy Felix Leiter's family is attacked. That's not the fun part, that's sad. But Timothy Dalton has a very enjoyable, dangerous glint in his eye that makes this revenge story super watchable. 10. The Spy Who Loved Me in 1977. This is the best of the Roger Moore James Bonds, and it's all about submarines. A bunch of underwater nuclear warheads have gone missing, so Bond and this woman whose boyfriend he killed go on a subaqueous adventure to find them. Also, the villain has webbed hands. 9. The Living Daylights in 1987. I think Timothy Dalton has a really nice edge to his 007. Many have said that he bears the closest resemblance of all the actors to the Bond in the novels. Anyway, Dalton's Bond is helping an ex-KGB officer defect to the West, and he attempts to sneak him off while he's attending the symphony in Czechoslovakia. But one of the cellists on stage is an assassin, and so, after thwarting her and smuggling his guy, he loops back to track her down. It's all very Cold War. 8. GoldenEye in 1995. There is so much to love about GoldenEye, like its making Judi Dench, M, or the continued appearance of Desmond Llewellyn as Q. Rogue MI6 agent Sean Bean devises a plan to take control of a Soviet-era space satellite that can shoot an electromagnetic pulse. Somehow, this will cause a financial meltdown in the UK. I find GoldenEye interesting because the plot isn't so much about upholding the British Empire abroad, it's about literally preventing the crumbling of the British Empire, domestically. 7. Thunderball in 1965. This is a very solid movie, despite its silly title. Sean Connery plays Bonds in the Bahamas, where he teams up with a girl named Domino in this film, which feels especially colonial to me. I mean, they all do, but this one especially. Sean Connery's casting always intrigues me because you ever wonder what's up with a Scottish dude working for the crown to maintain the empire? Like, is he a traitor? Possibly. 6. On Her Majesty's Secret Service in 1969. There's a lot of great stuff in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. A glittering Dinah Rigg as the tricky love interest, turned wife. Telly Savalas as a brown-suited Blofeld, a smashing opening fight scene on the beach, a fantastic ski slope chase scene, and you know what? The svelte, toothy, cravat-wearing George Lazenby, who appeared as Bond only this one time, is strangely compelling in the role. Plus, you can't beat his ad-lib. This never happened to the other fellow, when a beautiful woman steals his car and flees the scene. Tons of fun. 5. Dr. No in 1962. Dr. No is a great franchise opener. It introduced elements and iconography that would become signature to the whole Bond empire. Morris Binder's gun barrel opener, the Caribbean beach location, Ursula Andress in her white bikini with knife holster, Bond's friendship with Felix Leiter. Plus, you gotta love Dr. No's metal prosthetic hands. I love a villain with hardware instead of metacarpal appendages. This is in all likelihood because I grew up with a crush on Captain Hook. 4. From Russia with Love in 1963. This one's the favorite of Crime Read's editor-in-chief Dwyer Murphy, and why not? It's pitch-perfect adventure story. Plus it has the wonderful bonus of bringing back a Bond girl in the same role. Eunice Gyson's Sylvia Trench, who first appears in Dr. No, comes back, and when she does, she's represented as Bond's friend. 3. Skyfall in 2012. Of all the films on this list, Skyfall is my personal favorite. Truly, there are few things in this world I love more than a Sam Mendes-directed crime movie, and I love everything about Skyfall. Roger Deakins' glowing cinematography, the first appearance of Ben Winshaw's nerdy Q, the sneaky introduction of Naomi Harris's Moneypenny, the platonic love story between Bond and Judi Dench's M, the climax in the Gothic estate. The sky might be falling, but it's me who's crumbling. 2. Casino Royale in 2006. I didn't see Casino Royale in theaters, but my grandparents did, and when I asked my grandfather why he was raving about it so much, he said simply, this time, he falls in love for real. He does, he falls in love and gets ready to throw away his MI6 career for good. Indeed, Casino Royale manages to negotiate extraordinary depth while also providing the most impressive caliber of action sequences we've seen in a long time. There's no downplaying how much this film was a game changer. Aces, broccolis. 1. Goldfinger in 1964. It's the gold standard, larger-than-life megalomaniacal villain, menacing henchman with exciting gadgets, duplicitous love interest with a ridiculous name, powerhouse theme song, unforgettable assassination technique, ambitious doomsday plot, random golf competition scene. I could go on, for Goldfinger has it all. It's the film with the Midas touch. Who is your favorite Bond, and which is your favorite Bond movie? Please comment below.